Today, if you like games like this,
then hopefully these games won't leave you lost in the shuffle.
Hey everybody! We are back once again with Reggie. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm very excited.
I am excited too because we're going to have a little episode where we're going to make some board game recommendations, which is based, perhaps stolen, from an idea of a series of videos that you have done on your channel.
Yes, I have. And I will tell you, I do these all alone, and they're very sad. It's so much more fun to have Chaz and I together doing this. I like to do like 10 games for fans of these games.
You'll find a link to that on your screen now, which you probably can't click, but there's also going to be a link down in the description, which I dare you, challenge you maybe, encourage. That's what I'm looking for.
Encourage.
I encourage.
Gently encourage.
Gently, oh yes, lovingly encourage. I endorse and encourage you to click the link down in the description. It's going well. It's going well.
We're doing great.
Yes, okay.
So today we're doing, if you like this game, you might like that game. And we've each brought 5 and brought a recommendation if you like those games. I brought with me a classic game. One of the first games that was in my collection that is fine. I have a great time with it every time. And that is Carcassonne.
Oh, okay.
Yes, a classic. The tile layer, you build the board in the middle. And then if you get good at it, you realize, oh, it's a little intense. It can be a little bit, there's a little bit of cutthroatness for the area majority. But I went the other direction, a more recent game, and that is Beacon Patrol.
Oh, Beacon Patrol.
Yes.
Love Beacon Patrol.
Okay, you know it well. So the Beacon Patrol is 1 to 4 players. And I've actually been playing it a lot solo, which you can't do like with Carcassonne originally. But if you like Carcassonne, if you love those square tiles and that puzzly part of it, you might enjoy Beacon Patrol. And my favorite piece of it is it also brought these little boats. And so you get to move around the tile that you place. I really think if you enjoy Carcassonne and you want to go cooperative, nicer, you might try Beacon Patrol.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It can support one player, single play, and it's cooperative.
Yeah.
And it hasn't followed yet in Carcassonne's footsteps of having a billion expansions. And Carcassonne itself is a great starter place for a board game collection, and it was a great starting place for our list.
Of course. Thank you.
I'm also going to go old school for the very first game.
Okay.
I mention this all the time, so I'm just going to do this one as my first pick, get it out of the way for everybody. If you enjoy the game Risk, then I highly recommend you look at the game Rumble Nation, which is this fantastic little game. It's set in feudal Japan. You are placing your little meeple-like
wooden pieces.
Pulls. You're putting them on the board to take over these 11 different castles in feudal Japan. You roll 3 dice and you split them up to determine where you're placing and how many people you're placing. And so you mix and match what you're rolling.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you get to split dice, I mean, that does kind of change the luck of it. Risk is really just like rolling at each other.
What you get is what you get.
Holding out in New Zealand and making sure you can hold it down.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it also has a little bit of a pandemic overflow aspect to it because as units go into a certain area, they can overflow into the adjacent areas, which also keeps it further dynamic and a little bit on your toes. And there's some special powers and abilities that you can use throughout it. Yeah, fantastic game. And a new version of it came out just this year. It was out of print for a long time. So if you enjoy a game like Risk, but don't want it to take all weekend and want to be a little more dynamic, highly recommend Rumble Nation.
Yeah, I really want to try this one. I actually have been hearing about it from podcasts and some other YouTube channels that have been talking about it just so matter-of-factly as like just one of the better area majority games. And so I just need to get this one to my table. The big question is there an episode of Seinfeld that talks about Rumble Nation the whole time? Great pick. Wow.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, I have another classic that people love, a abstract known as Azul. You might have heard about it, yes. And I love Azul, but for me, I do think that there's a more modern game that definitely takes some inspiration from it and that I've been really enjoying, and that is River Valley Glassworks.
Surprise!
Yes.
That is not the game I thought you were going to suggest.
I know. What did you think? Harmonies?
I thought you were going for Harmonies.
Yes.
I've seen so many people compare Harmonies to Azul.
And it does have the Harmonies draft, for sure.
But River Valley Glassworks.
Yes, and I think mostly because of the aesthetic is there. You know, you've got those awesome the Portuguese tiles in Azul, and in River Valley Glassworks, it's these like beautiful glass pieces from like a anthropomorphic animal river that you're making. You're drafting these glass pieces. It's got an overflow in your little factory. Like if you go too many, you're going to get negative. That's very much like Azul in such a similar vein with just a little less teeth. And I think sometimes Azul can really off-put people because they end up with a giant pile of 8 of the black tiles and they're just like, well, I'm just ruined, you know. So River Valley Glassworks has been a big hit and I think it kind of fits that same niche.
That's a good pick.
We're going to put the artist here, and by we I mean Chaz. Going to put the artist on there. I want to give props because it's very beautiful art.
Yeah, it is. It is. Any other work you want to give me?
Yes, also.
Here's 1,000 games I want to mention.
Yeah,
So for my second one, there is a game that a lot of people that came into the hobby around 2010 to 2013, in that time frame, was one of their introductions to really the modern board gaming. That's Lords of Waterdeep.
Yep.
Today, there is another game that has become available that is called Kinfire Council, which is an offshoot of Kinfire
Delve and Kinfire Chronicles.
Yes.
Yes.
So Kinfire is creating this whole universe of different games, and they're all different types of games. And Kinfire Council gave me a real Lords of Waterdeep vibe when I played it.
Okay, interesting, yeah.
You actually have this 3D tiered city with different districts similar to Lords of Waterdeep, and you're placing workers in the little buildings in these different districts like you do in Lords of Waterdeep. And there's a evil cult that's going to be having some surprises come up along the way. There's other resources you got to manage. I would say it takes Lords of Waterdeep and it does make it a little more technical, nuanced perhaps.
Okay.
But if you still have a warm, soft spot for Lords of Waterdeep and you're looking for something that gives you that same taste, I'd recommend Kinfire Council.
Wow, I have not played either of these games. I've heard great things. I even like the D&D world, so I want to go back and play Lords of Waterdeep. That is on my list to try Kinfire Council.
Okay. And addendum, side note, if you would rather just stick with good old Lords of Waterdeep, there is the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion, which adds corruption. Highly recommend that expansion, at least. Once I played it with that expansion, I'll never go back to playing Lords of Waterdeep without it.
Yep, I've also heard that. An essential expansion, as some folks might say. My next is a big one that we teased at the beginning of the video. Ticket to Ride.
Topical.
Topical. There's so many Ticket to Rides. You know, you've got the big main US, the Europe, and all the other maps, and then the small city versions. A big thing about Ticket to Ride is that you are actually set collecting in a rummy style. You're trying to collect the same colors. And so a game that feels like that for me, where it's either you're collecting cards or you're placing down something, is Copenhagen. Have you played Copenhagen?
I haven't.
Okay, Copenhagen's a Queen Games, one of the first Kickstarters I ever backed, actually.
Copenhagen, okay.
Yes, and it's got these polyomino pieces.
Yes.
So it's more like Tetris, too. So this is kind of a bonus. If you like Tetris, you might also like that. On your turn, you're either just drafting these cards of different colors, or you are placing down a polyomino or purchasing one to go into your city. And you're trying to get these awesome little windows, which kind of reminds me of some of the Ticket to Ride versions where you're trying to hit either certain tourist attractions, like the New York one does this, or San Francisco does this. So it's just got that nice play style of grabbing cards or placing down items. And that action economy is just so simple to teach, but it can have so many ramifications. You know, it's got that like tension of like, should I just grab some more cards this turn, or is that person going to buy the last L-shaped polyomino before me? You know, and I just think it has similar tensions, but it's not a train game, doesn't have any route building. It's actually a polyomino game. So Copenhagen.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm going to have to go back and revisit that.
Yeah.
And also, I'm glad that you mentioned Ticket to Ride because I have an honorable mention for Ticket to Ride.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, just real quick. There's a game that always gives me a Ticket to Ride vibe, feeling, but it's not a train game. It's a game called Sunrise Lane.
Is that a Knizia?
It is a Knizia.
The one and only true doctor, Reiner Knizia. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yes, you have this little grid of spaces for a city, and you are playing different colored cards to build little houses, little apartment complexes along the paths of the city. Based on how many cards you play at a time will determine how tall your apartments are. Because the apartments are these little plastic pieces, but they stack on top of each other. They build up. It's really fast to play, really simple turns. The scoring is really neat. Yeah, highly recommend Sunrise Lane.
I haven't played it. It's relatively new, like last few years, right?
Last couple of years, definitely, yeah.
So yeah, that is Copenhagen for Ticket to Ride and Sunrise Lane for Ticket to Ride.
Exactly. Which actually, I guess, brings me to my next one on the list.
Okay.
So, speaking of games from quite a while ago, there's another game that I adore called Airlines Europe.
Okay, I have not played this. Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay.
This is a stock building type of game. You have this map of the planet. And the map has all
Not just Europe.
Wait, just Europe.
Okay.
You are collecting different colored cards, which are stock in these airlines.
Awesome.
And as the airlines grow, you'll be getting more and more stock in the ones that are branching out. So you're trying to time it just right and build up the ones that you'll get more investments in. I believe it's been out of print forever.
Yeah.
So there is a game, honestly, might at this point be a little difficult to find, called Pan Am.
Wow.
Imagine this. You have a map of the world.
Yes. It does actually have a map of the world.
Pan Am, I think, has a lot of potential that got overlooked.
Yeah, it came out, I think, in 2020, which is
Was it?
why, a big thing. Pan Am is one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game. I do think it is completely underrated, and not enough people are playing it. And I may be talking about it in another Game Night Picks video that we're doing. But anyway, yeah, Pan Am's great, and I have not played that original Airlines Europe game, but you can typically find Pan Am for relatively cheap on secondhand market.
Nice.
So if you can, just go check it out. It is great for gateway, but also for those heavy gamers. Like, it can bring you in.
And I can even flip this item on my list around here. If you enjoy Pan Am, Reggie, you may enjoy Airlines Europe.
Maybe I'll go back.
There you go.
That's great.
Go in
Wow.
reverse.
Yeah, I do. I love Pan Am. And I'll talk about it more later, too. But
Nice.
I love the worker placement and the stock building and the route building. So it's got like all these great mechanics that we all know and love. Okay, so my other one is a pretty big classic game, and that is Codenames.
Oh, okay, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Codenames is kind of like, what would you say, like the word party
Yeah,
de facto? Yeah.
It burst onto the scene, and with party word games that use a grid of cards, it was like kind of the first of its ilk.
Yes, it was the first of its ilk in this like word deductive, maybe team-based game. And my only issue with Codenames, I still own it, I love it. I prefer Codenames Duet, actually, with my wife. But my problem with the main game is that it's just a lot of downtime, for my taste. But my one that kind of alleviates that is So Clover.
Oh, yes.
And I like this one because it's 3 to 6 players, and everybody gets to write a word for each pair of words. So the downtime in the game is at the beginning, the setup. We're all writing our words at the beginning, and then we each go around taking a turn presenting our thing in the middle. You then throw in this 5th card.
Yes.
And it throws a wrench in everything. When that 5th card comes in, it could have a word.
Every time.
Every time.
A better match than what you wrote
Yeah,
down.
better match than what you put, and you can't predict that.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
When you are teaching So Clover to a new group,
Yes.
when do you introduce the 5th card?
I do tell them in the teach. You don't. You just say, hey, just come up with these, and it's going to be easy.
Depends on the people, but there have been times it's like, okay, everybody, but before we start guessing, let's do this.
Oh, and just throw a wrench in there, a spanner in the the wheels or whatever they call it. Yeah. Nice. And to make the game more difficult, you can throw in additional cards. That's what it says.
Why would you do that?
It's full disgust. And so everybody else at the table, though, gets to interact and decide, like, which of these work together. I think these 2 words are great. So, like, my example, my friend was just doing this. They had the word beast and edge on there, which was tough. And they wrote the word gargoyle. And we were very proud of that. Yeah, I was like, that's a beast on the edge. It's a gargoyle. It's got a lot more engagement throughout it. Codenames is still amazing. But if you like Codenames and you want some more games that, freshen up the formula a little bit, I'd say So Clover is a good one.
Absolutely a recommendation. I totally agree.
And did you have a Codenames honorable mention as well?
In fact, I did. There is a little game called Cross Clues, which also uses a grid of cards and it has letters and numbers. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up with words that tie things together, and you're trying to get the coordinates right. And it really has that Codenames vibe to it, but it's a little bit more collaborative.
That's got the like 50s looking.
Yes.
Yes, I have played that one. Yep, that's a good one.
Okay, there you go. So there, a twofer.
Twofer for Codenames.
All right. Now we're at the part of the list where things are going to get mixed up a little bit here.
Okay.
Because my next selection actually takes 2 games and has a suggestion based on both of those together. I have a game that reminds me of 2 games being played at the same time.
Great.
And that's what this is. If you enjoy the random drawing of a bag from Quacks of Quedlinburg, with the kind of tableau putting stuff in places aspect of harmonies.
Can I have a guess? Can I wager a guess here?
Oh, please do.
Life of the Amazonia?
It is indeed.
Okay.
It is Life of
wow.
Amazonia.
That's great. I love that game.
When I was introduced to it, I was like, this is going to be a bigger game than I want to play right now. Honestly, is how I felt.
Yeah.
By the time the first round had ended, I had fallen in love with this game.
Wow.
Fantastic game.
Yeah.
And when I am playing it, it gives me that vibe of, oh yeah, there is the drawing stuff out of it, like Quacks of Quedlinburg, and I'm putting animals in my little tableau I'm building, like harmonies, but it just takes both of those and it ratchets them up to the next level.
Yeah, and it's a heavier version. I mean, it's a more crunchy version of those games. Yeah. I would say Cascadia because of the hex tiles, so it's kind of like in the same vein. If you like Quacks or Harmonies or Cascadia or Altiplano, you've got this beautiful game.
Exactly. It covers all those bases. Yeah.
I've got my last one here, and this is a classic that, kind of like your Lords of Waterdeep, a lot of folks were introduced to the hobby from this and still play it like weekly. There's people who have it all the time from the 90s.
Okay.
Catan.
Oh, of course.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So Catan is a game that I played before I was in the hobby, and I enjoyed it. All I cared about was going for longest road. That was like my thing. And I played a game recently that I think is a little underrated, and that is For All Mankind. It's awesome. It's very space theme. It's got moon landing art on there. You gather these resources, and instead of like a hex tile board, it's this beautiful pegboard that's the galaxy, and you can move the planets around every time they have to rotate. And then it's even got this ruler you have to use to determine how much fuel you have to spend to go between planets. It is just... It's beautiful. Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
No, it's really cool. But the big thing is that there's negotiation and there's nukes. Obviously. There's nukes, obviously. And you can kind of use nukes to destroy someone's rockets. And you can also just use nukes to negotiate. Like, hey, if you don't give me some fuel, I'll be bombing you, Or I'll bomb that person over there for you if you give me some things. So it's got that Catan stuff. But it does feel fast. It feels fresh. It's beautiful on the table. For All Mankind, my sleeper hit.
So what I'm hearing is For All Mankind is Catan with nukes.
Yes, Catan with nukes. That's all you need to know.
I'm sold.
Yeah. That's great.
My last one is also the most recent new game that I've played.
Okay.
Yes. Just last week, I was introduced to the game Coffee Rush. Well, I'm doing this one backwards, I guess.
Okay, got it.
Coffee Rush is a game where you are taking different orders for different types of coffee and beverages, and you have ingredients, really amazingly produced ingredients that you're pulling in. Then you're collecting order cards, whether you want to or not. These order cards enter this tableau of like 5 rows.
Yeah.
And at the end of each turn, start shifting down.
Yes.
And as we were playing this, someone mentioned, this is kind of like a tower defense game, if you think about it.
Yeah, or like a Galaga almost.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And at that moment, my appreciation for Coffee Rush just went off the scale. Because I've mentioned before, I really enjoy tower defense games.
Yeah.
But Coffee Rush snuck into that category.
Totally. You would not think by looking at it. The video game that I usually compare it to is Overcooked. I don't know if you've heard of this. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And so that's very similar. And the thing that Overcooked and a tower defense game have in common is that tension.
Yes.
You feel the pressure of, I got to clean this up before it gets to the bottom. And it does that without being real time.
Yeah, it doesn't have that real time aspect to it. You can sit and think and plan out your turns.
Yep.
And the production quality is amazing.
Yep.
And it's tiny. But it pulls off this big tower defense feel. So if you like tower defense games, highly recommend Coffee Rush.
Great. Wow. Flipping the script on it. And we didn't even mention like how you gather resources, these little barista meeple.
Oh, yeah.
You like go around a grid and it's a really fun little puzzle you're doing there. You can get special powers. Great little game, Coffee Rush.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, there's our list.
There's our list.
I think we put together a fantastic list.
There's no way you're lost in the shuffle. You're already adding these to your cart on your whatever your friendly local game store is.
Well, we'll leave you to go do that, and then go check out his channel, open that in a new tab for when you're done shopping, and check out Reggie's videos. And we are both looking forward to the next time we can spend some time with you, and that will then do then. And now, but not now, later then.